guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Tanya at Sidegigcrafts, and I am so grateful that you are here today. And we are going to be working in this journal, trying to find some string here that I want to use. I'm so glad you're here to join me. Grab your crafty supplies and let's play. One of the things I wanted to do today, I want to make a button closure for this little envelope that's in this journal and make some paper buttons. So let's do that. There's our mask making today. I was thinking, I don't know what to mask make, but you know what? I think I do. I just said it. I know exactly what to do. First, we're going to make some little buttons. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you are crafting today. I hope you are safe and healthy and all the positive things, because we've got a lot of craziness going on in my neck of the woods today and tomorrow. And it's a little unnerving, not gonna lie. We have some major tornado weather coming up, and we are trying to prepare for that out here in the Alabama area. And everybody's kind of a little on edge. We're watching James Spann as he updates us and all the things. So this is one of those mask make kind of projects we could make. While we're sitting watching TV, we could get into our scraps and make a whole bunch of these little circles. Any color, any shape. Use your little circle punch. We could use some of these for decorative. I'll show you what we're going to do with them in just a moment. I didn't have a plan when I sat down except to work on that journal, but this is a great mask make. And it is Mask Make March, right? Let's make some paper buttons. These are going to be some bigger buttons. Boop, come on out of there. And I've made these on my channel before. This isn't anything new, but it might be new to some of you. And it's definitely a fun project, and I don't have any more, so it works out. You could make these to look like actual plastic buttons, make them shiny if you wanted to. You could make them look like little wood buttons. You can make them look, you could stamp them. We could have stamped this beforehand. Actually, we could still stamp some of this. Let's stamp some. You could use, we'll throw that out. You could use some book page for this to decorate your buttons. However you want. So if you have a special way that you want your buttons to look, go for it. Make it happen. Let's just cut that off. It'll be easier to work with. All right, let's get, I'm just going to use my script stamp, but you know I use this stamp all the time. And it's always right here, so it works out pretty nicely. And I'm actually going to use black soot on this one. And I'm using Distress ink because I don't care if I don't want it actually to be a solid clear stamp. I just want it to have some decorative on there because I think it would be pretty, and it sure is. Okay, so we can set that one aside. That was easy. Let's keep going. Come on out of there. So I hope you guys are all safe in where you're at. And I hope if you're in the area of the storms that you will be prepared and that your family will be safe as well. So please pay attention to those weather alerts if you're in those areas. And keep your family safe. All right, so I've got a lot of these now. And we're going to start by poking a clear hole back into our glue bottle because I didn't put a pin in it like I should have. There we go. I had hoped to travel to this weekend, but with the weather going to be the way it was, I decided it was probably a safe bet to just stay home. It'd probably be a better idea than being out on the road. So I had to cancel / postpone my plans. kind of a bummer, but I'd rather not be out on a freeway when that weather hits. That's for dang sure. Okay. So we're just going to stack 3, 2 cardstock and 1 decorative paper, whether that's coffee dyed paper, which is what I used, or whether it's, you know, your favorite scrapbook paper, or maybe a 3rd layer of cardstock. That's up to you. You can make them however you want to. Just squish them together. Don't put too much glue because it does make a mess when you squish them together. Put a little bit more on this one, but you do want to make sure you get to the edges. Gotta let those dry before we can do the rest of it, because we're gonna have to poke a hole in there and it's gonna be really hard to do with the glue wet. Should do a plain one. You can do 2 of each. Like I said, this is a great way to use up some of your scratch paper, or your scrap paper, sorry. And make something useful for your journal, for your cards. You could use these on cards. You could use these all kinds of ways. These could be the centers of your flowers. However you want to use them. Oh, I can make one more out of what I already cut. Let's go ahead and use one of these. All right, you guys, that is the start of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and go off camera for a few minutes and make some more circles, put some more together, at least this many, and I'll be back to show you the next step. All right, my friends, now you may have already guessed the next step because, you know me. We're going to ink this, and I meant to get out my inking brush here before I turned on that camera, but wouldn't you know, there it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get this out. We're going to ink around the edges of each one. Gives it a little bit more depth, more little interest, and makes them pretty. And then we're going to do a couple other things too, but this will go pretty quick. So if you're making buttons, this will not be a very long lasting, well, unless you make about a zillion of them. So remember, I've got 2 layers of cardstock here, and then a layer of decorative paper. Now you could make these thinner and just do 1 layer and 1 decorative. You could put 2 pieces of cardstock together. You can make it 3 pieces. You could make them as thick as you want to. If this isn't thick enough for you, put another one on there. You know, it'll be even thicker button. You can kind of play with it however you want to do it. Now remember, if you're putting them in your journals, you don't want to make them too thick, because that makes them a little bit more difficult to work with and makes it difficult to write in your journal. So you want to keep that in mind. You don't want to make them too thick that you can't use them. But this is a pretty good thickness here. It's thick enough to keep them firm so that they don't bend super easy, and they'll hold up under a little pressure, but not so thick that they're going to stick out too far on our page or our envelope. Okay, you could use these for whatever you might use a button for. Use them for closures. You can use them for, oh goodness, I don't know, and whatever you want to, whatever you would use a button for. I think I said that, huh? Maybe not on your clothes. I'm talking about paper crafting, guys. Come on now. They're not going to hold your jeans shut. but they'll definitely hold your envelope shut. There we go. That went pretty quick, didn't it? We'll just ink these little guys up. Make them pretty. All right, and there we go. We're done with that. Next step is we're going to take an actual button. Let's see how thick this one is. Oh, that's not the one I want. That is a thicker pen than I want. That's a brush pen. Let's take one of these microns and see. I think that the 0.8 is possibly the size I want. We're going to take an actual button, smaller than the paper button. So you can see there's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. We're going to take this. We're not going to draw all the way around the circle, but we're going to put a couple lines here and there just to kind of give it an effect like that. Okay, just a little bit, just to kind of give it some. You could freehand this if you prefer, or you don't have to do it at all. Don't have to do it at all. Give it a few lines. I think it'll look better on the plain ones than the others because there's nothing on the plain ones, right? But it'll kind of give it the look of a button. Kind of eyeballing that center. Let's try it on one of these that has drawing, that has the stamp on it. Actually, it's nice. Okay. I'm just kind of doing 3 marks. You could do however many you want. You can make a couple small ones, a couple big ones. I kind of went off the mark on that one. That's okay though. It's a junk journal. There is no perfection in junk journalism. Almost done, and then we'll go on to the next step. These actually are pretty quick to make. The biggest part is just allowing that glue to dry, honestly. Now you could, I suppose, glue all your papers together before you cut them out, but that would be a pretty thick cut with that tool, so that's why I didn't do it. I don't mind putting the circles together. It works pretty quickly, pretty easily. I don't know that my little punch could handle all those pieces glued together, so I didn't even try. But perhaps yours will. Give it a try. It might go faster. But that was pretty simple, simple indeed. So next up, since these are buttons, they need holes in the center, right? So we could do 2 holes, we could do 4 holes, however many holes your button needs to have, that's what you do. I have this tiny itty bitty hole punch, licks tiny little holes, and I'm going to eyeball kind of the center-ish. Make some little holes there. There we go. Some of them can have 2, some of them can have 4. They're usually in even numbers, I believe. Should we do 4? See how well I can eyeball this. Probably not very well. You could mark them on your button first. There, it's not too bad, actually. You could put 1 in the middle. Now, some of these we might want to put just 1 in the middle, like I do for that envelope, actually, because I just want to put a brad through it. We'll do some like that. I just want to put a brad through it to close that envelope up. I don't really need too much more on that one. But most of these I want to look like actual buttons. That was a little crooked. Won't matter when it comes down to it. So when I do with these, when they are crooked like that, I'll take thread and thread it through there. It won't be as obvious once that thread's through there. Almost done. There's a couple more things we can do with these too. All right, one other thing that we can do is we can take our, do I have, I was gonna say, but I could use, you could use collage medium, I think, over the top. Oh, that might take, it's gonna be a matte finish. I don't know that that would work. You could use, okay, so I don't have any shiny collage medium. Thought I did, but I don't. You could use a clear embossing powder. But if you do, you want to make sure that you didn't use oxide, because it'll lift, I think it'll lift that color up. So I'm not going to actually, you could use Mod Podge. If you have shiny Mod Podge, you could put that over the top. That will also lift the oxide. So you want to be careful with that. If you're going to put a shiny layer over it, make sure you use something that's more permanent, like archival or something like that, that's not going to lift. I won't be able to do that because I used I did use distressed ink, but I think that'll lift too. I'm not going to do it today. So let's go ahead into our book. This is what started this whole project, isn't it? I want to round these corners. I think I can still round this one, hopefully, maybe not. Can I fit it in there? There's no way I can fit that in there. So let me find my scissors. Oh boy, I got the hiccups. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? It's gonna be one of those days, guys. I didn't sleep well last night. So tired. And how do I want to put this? I could put this, okay, so I could put this here so that it just flaps under there. But I was thinking I would put it here. I think I'm going to put it here. Okay, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put one more hole here in the middle-ish. And I'm going to put that guy there. I had a tiny itty bitty, oh, it was in the other room. I had that. I found a box of magnets today. When I pulled the magnets out, it had a little itty bitty tiny brad stuck to it. And I thought, ooh, I could use that. But it's in the other room. I didn't bring it back in here. So I can't use it today, or at least not right now. Let's use one of these. Would be really pretty in there, huh? Let's use one of these. Use our little, let's use what we've got. All right, so we're going to put this through here. We are going to put this through this hole. And then we're going to open it up, of course, so that it's on there. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take this string. I don't know how long. Tie it here. Now you could put another one of these down here too, but I didn't do that before I closed this envelope. I think I'd have a hard time with it now, so I'm not going to bother. But what we can do is wrap this around this way. A couple times. And then loop it here. I think I want to cut this one much shorter. So we'll wrap this one here. And then we can tie a little knot on this one. You could put a charm on it too. There you go. You've got a little envelope in there, and that'll hold it shut. Super cute, right? So there's one. I mean, you could do all kinds of things with these little buttons throughout a journal. And I hope that you will find some ways to do it too. And I hope that you will make some and be inspired. That's my mask make for today. Making those little buttons. Look, we could put, let's do that. Here, look, let me show you this one. We could just take, here, let's take some of this string right here. Can I fit it through? I might not be able to fit this particular string through though, because my hole is kind of tiny. Let's make it just a little bit bigger if I can. If I can. I don't know that I can. Might need a needle to get it through there, which I have those too. Right here. Let's try it. Let's try it. Since we're doing it, let's finish up, right? Why put it off for later? Come on, thread. The birds got quiet. All of my animals are acting weird today. It makes me really cautious. They know there's something up. Weather-wise, I'm sure they can feel it. Sorry guys, I'm trying to thread this. It's not helping me very well. It's coming apart. This little butcher's twine. Come on, little butcher's twine. Come through there. Doesn't want to. Let's try this again. It's raveling there. That might work actually this time. There we go with that actually word again. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Turn that glue gun on real quick. bow on there if we wanted to. Because who doesn't put a bow on their button? Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue underneath here. Just to help hold that bow in place. And then we'll trim back that twine a little bit. Okay, and then the idea is just to make that look like it was sewn there. My hot glue is not going to want to work, right? Glue that right on. Okay, it looks like a little button. All right, you guys, I didn't glue on very well. My glue is not warm enough. Let's try that one more time. One more time. Should be good now. In too big of a hurry. I don't know why. All right, there we go. All set. We got our buttons there, and then on the envelope that was right there. I hope you enjoyed this little project. Get out, make your own little buttons. You can use all your scraps. Make tons of them, guys. Have some fun with it. I hope you do, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe out there. Have a fantastic day. Do something that makes you happy, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.